The USB-C mandate has been a hot topic in the news. Let's talk about why it's not only a horrible idea, but will create more e-waste, something it's trying to avoid, and stifle future innovation on many devices.
Lawmakers should not be having their hand in tech, especially when considering how technically involved they are getting with this decision. Although the idea of having a universal charger sounds amazing, it is never this simple. To start, there are protocols used between different devices with different charging standards, which makes this less than an elegant solution. It is far from one charger fits all. I can't power my MacBook, which has a 140 watt charger, with my iPad USB-C 20 watt charger. It simply will not provide the power necessary to keep the Mac running. And it's a bit unrealistic to expect people to carry around the large and cumbersome laptop power bricks just to charge their phone. Do you see the issue here? If we roll back the clock to 2012 when the iPhone 5 came out and started the transition to the Lightning connector, there was immense backlash from the community as everyone had become accustomed to the 30-pin connector. All of their accessories were now obsolete. This was an especially big issue a decade ago when docking stations and other similar devices were far more prominent than they are today. USB-C did not roll out for another 2 years, and people would have been even more furious if after only 2 years they had to yet again replace all of these accessories. Dongles like this did exist, but they were cumbersome and annoying to have to move from device to device. In a way, Apple, because of the circumstance, became forced into the position that we were in today, with the Lightning connector. As so many accessories support this standard, and people have amassed an immense supply of Lightning cables. Doing away with all of these, as Apple's mentioned, would create an insane amount of e-waste, which is exactly what the EU is trying to combat with this new plan. At the end of the day, it is very unwise for lawmakers to get involved in a way like this, especially since this change impacts Apple more than any other company at the moment. And Apple is already a company that is super dedicated to sustainability, at least far more than many of their competitors. For this reason, I feel that Apple is going to ignore this new law altogether. And I do not mean that they're going to stop selling the EU. They're just going to work around it in a way that has been rumored for years now. There's something of particular interest in the EU mandate, which states that any phone that is capable of charging by a wire will be forced to move to USB-C. So Apple can use this to their advantage, and much like the Apple Watch, move iPhones to exclusively wireless charging. This is not only a more elegant design, but it would make the device far more water resistant, and free up more space inside the phone for a larger battery, which is always welcome. Before everyone goes up in arms about this decision, think about the last time you actually needed to sync your device with an external machine. And if you really need an external port. Sure, there are implementations where this would be needed. For example, if your car only supports wired Apple CarPlay, but surely Apple will make a solution for this. Much like iPads which have communication ports on the back, they can add this to the iPhone to have the functionality of data transfer to still exist, without the cumbersome nature of traditional charging cables. I'm definitely curious to see what route Apple takes. Chances are they may need to comply in some capacity and move some iPhones to USB-C, but given how many years they have been working on MagSafe, I highly doubt that they'll end up making the transition to USB-C, and we'll just continue down the tried and trusted Apple path. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you like this video and would like to see more like it, please do like, share, and of course subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and I'll see you all in the next one.